So, my first question for you, and we're turning the tables because I was already on your podcast. So, tell me about your business and what you do.
I help people wake up to a life they love living. Everyone thinks I'm a sales coach. That's just the modality I use to make money so that I can go do what I want to do. So many times people think that they want to get into business, do things, and then they don't really have a plan at the end. I actually help you figure out what it is that you actually want to achieve, how to fund it, and actually how to fund it in a way that's fun for you. Because if it's not fun, if you're not engaged, if you're not happy about it, you're not going to stay with it because what most people don't realize is the long game is the shortcut.
Wow. You just blew my mind because to me, I would think that a businessman, a salesman would be focused on how do we make you money? And you looking at it, flipping it the other way, what do you actually want? What is the end game? Not just money, but what kind of lifestyle do you want? And then how do we figure out how to fund that is kind of amazing.
Well,
um,
it took me years because you had to think about it. In the beginning, I got into sales, I fell into sales, and I thought, oh, if I just make money, I can do it. Well, I made money, but I had no purpose behind it. I'd make money, it'd come in, it'd flow out. It'd come in, it'd flow out. It'd come in, it'd flow out. It'd come in. And after a while, I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I'm making more money than most people, but I have nothing to show for it. What is my purpose? What's my passion? What's my plan? What do I really want to do in the world? Because I never woke up and said, I want to be a business owner or sales guy. I woke up and said, I want to travel the world. I want to spend time with those I love and impact people around me for the good. So once I was able to reframe that, all of a sudden money was a lot easier because now I'm not just working for money. Just like if you go to a job and you hate it and you're just working to do the job, you're going to hate it. But if you actually love what you're doing, maybe you help animals or maybe you're a vet or I don't know. People love what they do. They don't, it's not like a hard thing. So why not in the business world do that?
sure. So if I came to you and said, "Help me with my business," what would be kind of the progression of that first meeting?
Sure. Well, in the beginning, I'd find out, well, what type of business do you have, Stacey? Who is your ideal client? Who do you want to help? What unique value do you bring for them? How can you stand out in the noise and in the crowd? So first you need to understand what your business is. What's your passion? Because some people, their business is their passion. That's what they want to do. That's what they love to do. Other people might be like, well, I'm starting a business because I want to make money. Well, why do you want to make money then? I'm going to listen to what you say, and then I'm going to reframe it and restructure it so that it's set up for you. I customize everything. I don't do cookie cutter scripts. I don't teach everyone the same way because your asset, your unique asset is you. That's the part most people don't realize. How you talk, how you connect with your people, how you post. And it might be you just sell widgets. Great. You don't have to be the face. We just need to figure out the formula for you. How many widgets do you need to sell? Or if you want to be a speaker and talk to people, and okay, we need to build your brand. I need to know what your goals are beforehand because everyone likes to paint a big brush and they think their problem is they're not getting enough sales or business. A lot of problem is they don't really know who they are, who they help, and how that can actually change the world around them.
Sure. Now, how do you get somebody to figure out who they are, what they want? How, a lot of people I can ask a lot. If I asked 50 people on the street a four-letter question, what do you want? I don't know how many of them could actually clearly and definitely define that for me. So how do you draw that out of people?
A lot more deeper questions because most people don't understand what do they want because they don't know what they want or they don't feel worthy of being able to get what they want or they've been told no or different things. So a lot of times I'll be like, well, Stacey, what interests you? What interests do you have? You said you got into business. Are you interested in what you're selling or are you interested in the lifestyle? Are you interested in being able to get the fancy car? Or do you have more of a philanthropy type idea where you want to make money so that you can save cats or help orphans or whatever? I'm going to start to dig slowly there because you're going to start to tell me about it. And I'm like, cool, have you always been this way? What have you done so far that hits those buckets for you? Oh, you volunteered at the local charity. Oh, you used to sell ice cream bars for the sporting events and you outsold everyone and you liked it. Find out kind of what it is because people will tell you about their gifts. You just have to get them to open up and have to give them permission to share without judgment. A lot of times I say, look, I don't believe in rules with this. I think that you build success by defining on what you want it to be. I can help you become a millionaire or a billionaire. I can help you make 80, 90,000 a year and live happy. What is success to you? And then slowly over time, and it's not, and a lot of times it might be the first time anyone's truly asked to see them. And a lot of my clients have followed my content, my stuff. So I've already kind of gotten a vibe for what they like. So I might come and say, well, I know, Stacey, you're wanting to make 5 million this year. What gave you that thought? Why did you want, why the number 5 million? It could have been 10 million. It could have been 1 million. What was it?
Right.
Again, specific to what I know about you so that I can start crafting and listening because it's human connection. It's relationship. It's deep diving into their wants and their desires so we can set up a plan that you're going to say, every day, Stacey, because you say you want X, I'm going to need you to do this many posts, reach out to this many people. But I built it on what you told me you wanted, not what I told you should do. That's a little nuanced difference. And that's why you see a lot of people go through webinars, courses, and they never do anything because they don't really have a path that works for them. They're trying to follow someone else's path.
Yeah, and I can see that to where you're getting into that human element. What do I want? And then once we figure that out, I will be more willing to follow that path laid out. If it is the save the cats, the save the orphans, whatever it is, it's what I said I want. I'll be willing to do the business steps that you lay out in order to get to that path, because sometimes it's like, oh really, I've got to do this many messages and this much content and whatever, like bullshit. I don't want to do
Yep,
that
yep.
bullshit. But if I know that if you've kind of teased it out of me, it's an means to an end of what to get me what I want. I'm more willing to do the uh, unsexy the unsexy parts too.
Yeah.
I looked this morning, I saw you had a post that asked ChatGPT to describe what you would be like in 3 words, and your words were curious, relentless, and independent. Tell me about, do you agree with that diagnosis of
Yeah.
what ChatGPT said?
Yeah, I've always been curious since I was a little kid, and I tell stories a lot too. Since I was a little kid, I've always been interested in culture. I've always been interested in learning new things, space, fantasy, dragons, you name it. I'm just curious. And I've always been curious about people. So I always lean into that. The second one was relentless. Once I put my mind to something, will not follow people's rules, but I'll figure out a way to make it work. And I will be super consistent because I've learned over the long haul that it's the unsexy things that you do each and every day, the emails, the calls, the touch points, the videos, all those things that get me to what I want. But then I also know the rewards of it. I go to Hawaii about every other year. I've been to Palm Beach. I've traveled the world. I love traveling, so that's like a thing for me. And the third one, what was the third one again? I don't remember off the top of my head. Sorry.
Independent.
Yeah, I'm independent in the sense that I won't just accept stuff at face value, which is what makes me a good salesperson. I have to challenge the belief systems in it. I have to figure it out my way. That's why when I train people, I'm like, look, we're making this built around what you want, not what works for me. Because Stacey, you might not be able to do how I do things. You might not want to get on the phone and call 300 people in a day because you know that it's going to suck, but you're going to make 10 grand. You might want to craft emails and send out 1,000 emails because you'll make 10 grand that way. Or maybe host an event because you'll make 10 grand that way. Or maybe whatever it is that you'll do, go to a fair and meet enough people to do it. Again, it's just the independence comes from being willing to push against the norms, which I am. The other thing it threw out there that said if you had a fourth, that I'm contrarian, but not
Mhm.
because I'm a jerk or because I just want to argue. It's because I'm always looking at both sides of the deal. I have ADHD. I'm neurodivergent, love the term in a good way. And I'm always looking at the opposite side just to say, okay, does this make sense? Why do I believe this? Why would this make sense? What did the other party say? Because at the end of a war, if you think about history, whoever wins gets to write the history. Well, whoever loses doesn't. So who really was true? Was it the person that had the better army, or was the person whose cause was better lost? You don't know unless you look. And I've always just wanted to look at the opposites, but it's helped me to define who I am, what I believe, And I'm a lot stronger in my belief systems because I've been willing to look at what other people think, even if it doesn't make sense to me. Going back to the curiosity, I'm like, okay, cool. You think this way because you grew up here. This is the influence you had. This is what you've seen compared to I grew up here with the, and it's like a chess game, and I gamify everything. So I know that I'm not gonna fit into certain rooms, and I know this actually helps me because it helps eliminate rooms because I won't be the good follow sheep. Whoever XYZ is the best person ever, whether it's Robbins or Mosi, whatever. They're great people, but if you can't say anything negative about your leader, and I just use two main people out there, if you can never say anything negative about a leader, you're a sheep. End of story.
Wow. So how did you always think like that? Like looking at all the perspectives and challenging what we think is norm, or how did you develop, how and when did you develop that?
Over years, I got burnt by people, followed blindly when I was young in a church, got burnt, got kicked out because once I started reading the Bible, it didn't line up to what the pastor was teaching. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. So that still that challenging nature, but it wasn't challenging the person. But then once I realized that when I went to challenge him, he couldn't accept being challenged, period. There are people like that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I will never follow someone again blindly because I was wrong. That's on me. That's not on him. He's who he
Sure,
is. That's
sure,
you.
sure.
That goes back to Jocko's 100% ownership. If I make a mistake, if I trip up, if whatever, first time shame on them. Second time shame on me. You have to be able to see your patterns. So I started seeing patterns that way, and then I got into sales, and I've been working in for years, so dealing with CEOs, CFOs, and having to be able to read people's intent. Because a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, yeah, Stacey, I'm great. We're gonna buy. I'm with you." And then the next thing you know, they went to your competitor, took your price, and chopped it down. It's learning that don't take everything at face value. Now, I know people don't like this book as much, but Machiavelli was right. There are certain things when you're dealing with princes or leaders of society or politicians or business owners, you have to read the room. Another book I love to recommend, though it's very dark and you have to go with an open mind, is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It gives you a mind set into human psychology. But then also, I also tell you, go read the book by Bob Berg, The Go Giver, because it gives you the humanity back and that you should still shine good and light in dark places.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely believe in just being a good person and hope most of other people are also a good person, and just do the best that I can, and that's all I can do. Let me ask you a little bit more about business. What have you figured out about business that you think maybe took you longer than you should have to learn, or that you learned and then you could kind of pass it on so that it doesn't take people as long to figure out?
When you're, because I'm a sales expert, we'll go there first. When you're doing sales, it's always about the customer. This is where the term the customer is always right. It's not that they're always right, it's that they're always right in the moment of where they're at. That's what they know. So you have to take
Sure.
them from where they're at and close all the doors of doubt and lead them to cost versus value. So a lot of times you'll hear people use stuff like, oh, just always agree with the customer, and it feels like icky and emotional. No, what you're doing is you're confirming where they're at that point, and then you're taking them to the state of being or the place where they understand, oh, wait a minute, maybe I wasn't correct. Like, I have always bought from XYZ company because they've taken care of it. That's great. I totally love loyalty, Stacey. That's phenomenal. With XYZ company, have they met your needs the whole time? No. Have they keep raising, do they keep raising your prices? Yes. Do they, and you just kind of break into it. I agreed. Hey, cool. I love loyalty. I'm not going to bash competition.
Sure.
So, but at the end of the conversation, I get them to the place where I'm like, okay, cool. I get that you're loyal. You've been there 20 years, but what I've heard you say, and if I miss something, let me know, giving them space. They've raised your rates. They don't respond right. And their system that they have you on is an old system. It's not helping you. So all I did was let them tell me what they weren't happy with without judging them for making the decision. Because so many times people come in and go, "Oh, they suck. I'm the greatest," and they talk about themselves instead of listening to the client. 70% in any of my sales calls, 70% I listen and get them to talk. 30% I present or give ideas because it's like dating. I always tell people this relationships, sales, it's like dating. And I use it from a guy's perspective. I'm not a woman, so I can't do it that way. It doesn't work for me. If I'm going to take a girl out on a date and I just talk about myself the whole time, how great I am, my accolades, I did all this stuff, I'm not getting a second date. She's not going home. There's nothing happening at all. But if I get in and I give her a tease a little bit about what I can do, be mysterious, because women like to be have mysterious. People that are buying from you want to have a little mystery with it. And then I get you talking about yourself, all of a sudden you're going to have those good endorphins, those good feelings because you're talking about yourself. Oh, where did you travel last year? Oh, what do you want to do? What are your dreams for the future? It's the art of getting people to open up in a dating scenario. It's the same thing with sales. You have to get them to open up to trust you enough to start telling you, and then you don't have to pitch them. Then you don't have to go through a presentation. Not everyone needs a presentation. When you're first doing sales, yes, and I've done it where you've done the flip chart or the PowerPoint or all this stuff, but now I just have a conversation and see if I can help you. And it just takes the pressure off.
Okay. Yeah, no, that I love the way that you equated that to dating. I think it helps people understand that. And like you said, the conversation, if you're out with someone or wherever the case may be, and all they're doing is talking about themselves, talking about themselves, talking about, like you said, you're not going to get the second date, you're not going to get their business because yeah, I want to talk a little bit about myself too.
Oh, not
I
at
know
all.
I know all about them, but they know nothing about me.
Yeah. And keep doing that with your clients because I've been married 25 years, but if I go out with my wife and I do all the talking, do all the stuff, she's not gonna want to go get coffee with me if I'm just talking her ear off all the time. You still have to court the relationships you have as well. Don't neglect the clients you have. Keep them on the customer journey. Keep doing touch points. Keep coming back because you never know the referrals that they'll give you or the people, the stuff that maybe they're going to buy later on down the road that maybe you didn't know they had coming up, but because you kept the relationship going, trust is built over time. Really big deals, high ticket deals take time. I know the guru boys tell you if you do their three stupid steps, it will work or whatever. But in reality, relationship speed algorithm, like my buddy George Bryant said, building the trust and likability over time is how you win in this game. And then just keep following up, keep touching base for a reason. Not, hey, can I follow up with you on Thursday? Be like, hey, Stacey, I know in your industry there's something coming up, or there's this article I just read. Can I share it with you next week? Or hey, Stacey, there's this event I'm going to go to. I want your thoughts on it. Can you check it out? I'm just inviting you into my world. I'm touching points, touching points, touching points. And the more that you interact with people, you'll start to see the ones that are your people and the ones that don't respond. Okay, cool. They're not responding. Is this really my person or not? Then you kind of got to just deep dive and look and say, okay, is this what I really think it is, or are they just being nice? And then cut bait. That's the other thing most people are afraid to do. Cut bait. If it's not working, if it's not the right client and you've given everything you can, don't just get stuck or fixated on one person. Have multiple people to talk to because then that way there's never the what they say in the sales world commission's breath or I have to get Joe to buy today
Mm.
because now if I have Joe, Mary, Sally, Philip, Susie, and 30 other people, I'm not worried about selling Stacy today. I can just have a conversation. If it makes sense and we can agree on it, great. If not, cool. We're still friends and we'll just keep moving you down the path till when the point when you're actually ready to buy.
Right. And people can sense that desperation too. If you're desperate for that sale, if you're just trying to push me and push me and push me, it's like then I don't even want to be friends, right? I know it's not a secret, but I'll ask it this way. What is the secret to a successful marriage and family life?
Not that I'm perfect with it, but choosing to love no matter what. Love is a choice, it's not a feeling. There's going to be
Mm.
romantic times, there's going to be happy times, there's going to be times when you both hate each other, there's going to be roommate stages. It's life. My wife and I have both changed 25 years, probably 6 to 7 different times. I'm not the guy she married, she's not the girl I married. But it's choosing to love them through each and every aspect of their life. And then being open and honest when you are at a place where maybe your needs aren't getting met, or maybe things aren't going how you want. Communication is hard. But if you choose to love someone and be with them and you want to spend your life with your best friend, then they're worth the conversation. If not, then what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, no, that's really good. And yeah, I get that you said it. I don't know that I'm not in the boat necessarily that there's ever been you both hate each other, but and I don't think you meant that either. You probably meant you hate maybe the situation,
Disagreements, arguments. Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
that they said or did or didn't said or didn't
Yeah.
do type of thing. So let me ask you this: how do you keep your ambition and business and from taking over kind of the family? How do you
Mhm.
balance the business and the family?
I don't balance it as much as I'm intentional. I don't like the word balance because high achievers aren't balanced. We do stuff that normal people won't do, can't do, and don't understand. We'll work 10, 20, 12-hour days, sometimes 14-hour days. But then there's times I just take a week off because I want to. I think it's learning where you're at. And then I always say, I speak more to guys. So I'm going to say it this way. I always tell guys, if you're always working, saying you're doing it for the family, you're lying, you're doing it for yourself. If you're not spending time with your kids at their baseball games, taking your wife out, doing your daughter's Stanford Styles and all this stuff, or going on trips with them and you're just working, working, working for them. No, there you're doing that for your ego and your pride. I also set things in motion. You know, I have a podcast. I have done over 290 episodes. I shut it down from November through December. Now I batch enough so no one realizes that I take November and December off for family time. I do it every year. I made one exception the last 3 years because there was one person wanted. That's the only time they could do it. So okay, cool. I'll make an exception, but that's one day compared
Mhm.
to every week podcasting. With business coaching, with sales coaching around the holidays, again, I'm like, look, dude, I'm not doing anything right now. So when I set up contracts, when I set up other stuff, this is vacation time. If I'm off on vacation, unless you're a super close friend, I don't pick up. I will tell you, I'll give you a heads up because you have to be able to build a business that you can step away from and it doesn't run you. You don't have to do the emails and stuff. And I haven't always been this way. In sales world, I literally had a director of mine reach out to me once because I was on vacation trying to do a deal. And he goes, Joe, I got you. You need to stop. You're on vacation. Enjoy your PTO. So I had to shut my computer up because I was so stuck in that thing. Also, I recommend him to my buddy George Rivera because he had a $400 million marketing business, realized that he wasn't spending time with people, his family, and totally wrote a book and changed it called Buy Back Your Time. So again, I might not be the guy to talk to you about how to do that. This is how I balance it, but I also find people that I know I can go and talk to say, hey, check me on this. Hey, and these are legit people. These are not Aunt Sally Mae who's never done anything in their life or the people that are against you having a business. Don't talk to them. Surround yourself with people that are doing the same thing you are, but maybe they figured something out a little bit better. And then you reach out to them and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Does this make sense? What are you seeing? Because we all have blind spots and we all can get. I am super driven, super competitive. You see the awards behind me. If you tell me I can't do something, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to try and figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I have to surround myself with people that I will allow myself to give myself grace because you have to enjoy the moments. Climbing up to the mountaintops so you can see the view. But if you get to the mountaintop and you don't ever look at the view because you're looking at the next mountain, you're wasting time.
Oh goodness. Mic drop there. Yeah, in fact, I was just thinking about this. I want to switch gears. I would love to ask you, Elon Musk said that money will be irrelevant by 2036. And I'd love to, because of automation and AI, and automation will create that abundance. And I would just love to know your thoughts on that.
Elon's normally right on a lot of stuff. On this one, I think he's wrong. Automation and all that type of stuff will keep going. The problem is, and not really a problem because I'm a capitalist, totally great with it, is there's going to be people that want to create and do more and have better experiences than the normal masses. There's always been the utopia with socialism that says, oh, everyone will be equal. Yeah, everyone equal is boring. Everyone equal is y'all get a grilled cheese instead of a filet mignon. Because there's so many people. What I think he's trying to say there is that the lower, and I'm not saying this in a negative, but the lower classes, middle class, and all will have a more comfortable life. What that means for people like me and you, because there still will be a transaction, something of value that people exchange, will be able to go exceptionally faster, farther, further up, and further in. The average person's maybe their medium wage will go from, I think, it's 60,000 in the US to 80,000. But if they're not ambitious, if they're not doing anything, if they're just still doing their menial regular job, which we need people like that, don't take that wrong.
Mhm.
I don't think, I think he just means quality of life will be better because we're still human. There's still different things that you have to pay to get to do. Not everyone will get to fly to Hawaii and do all this stuff. Not everyone will get to go to Fiji. Not everyone can do all these different things or have the exotic cars or whatever. So I think that's more of what he was saying. And if not, then you'll truly have to do what you love.
Yeah.
Because guess
Yeah.
what? If you don't have the menial job, if you don't have the thing there that you have to do to get paid to get money, well, now maybe you'll be able to create the thing that you actually wanted to do. I think that would be the other aspect. But we also have to remember that he may be talking of the US. There's still, I don't know, 7 billion other people on the planet. So life is always fluid and there's always these great dreams and ideas. Space exploration might be next. That'd be fun. I think it'd be cool to go to the moon. I think it'd be cool to go to Mars. I am that guy. I love space and all that craziness. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I hadn't really thought about it until you mentioned it. I saw the quote, but it didn't really. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
that's just Elon. And
Sure.
he's brilliant. He's super smart when it comes to business and stuff. But here again, times people need to stay in their lane. But you also have to remember this. He's in AI. He's in tech. So if he says that and he can make more money off it, he can get people, oh, by 3036, Elon's going to take care of this. They'll buy more crap from him too. There's always underlining messages.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that part of it that you just said at the end, where, well, he benefits from us buying into that, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, no, I joked that, okay, so that's 10 years from now. Well, the money that I have in the bank, I've got to have a 10-year spend down plan then, because money, and I'm not, and I was not serious.
Yeah,
I hope my money continue, it will
it will.
continue to accumulate. But I just thought, and I think you nailed it, to where I think the people in that sort of working in the say $15 to $20 an hour, trading your time for money like that,
Hmm.
um I think that that will help their lifestyle, so that they won't necessarily have to be feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's interesting, and hopefully we'll be able to take a lot more awesome vacations,
Oh, we
right?
will because
Yeah,
if the median if the median goes up, that means the high achievers, the people that are willing to do what most people aren't willing to do, will get more access to wealth, materials, different things, different ways that they can build so that they can build a life they love living. Because again, there's no rules in the sense of where you want to stop. You just have to define what you want to do and play the game as they have it set up at the moment. And the
yeah.
game could change at any time. That's the part that most people don't realize.
Oh, exactly. I could start today and say, whatever I've done for the past 50 years, let's just scrap that. And what do I want from here forward? Because the people that I help, it's like, not that I don't care about what happened to them in their first 50 years, but I don't need to know, right? I just
Hmm.
need to know where we're at now and where we want to go. I don't need to
Yep.
know about all that other crap. So, and again, not that I don't have a heart, and that I don't care, but it's not relevant to where you want to get to. I mean, it's just what used to happen, right? A lot,
Hmm.
but it doesn't. It's definitely not what needs to happen moving forward.
Well, it doesn't
Um,
happen at all now.
no.
The Gen Z, even my generation, Gen X, all of us, it's changed so much. I've had, I don't know, 7, 8 different roles that I've done, and I keep getting recruited all the time. I think now it's more people are realizing it's not the company because the company will replace you in 2 to 3 days after you
Sure,
leave.
sure, sure, sure.
Very simply, even if they loved you, even if you did great, they're going to replace me, replace you. It's not just putting your own business because then after you pass, someone else is going to take it over anyway. Doesn't matter. So what is it that what is really your purpose, passion, and plan? Purpose. Who do you want to help? What do you want to do? Passion. What excites you? What makes you get up each and every day to live a life you love? And plan. How are you going to get there? It's really that simple. And it could
Yeah.
be I pivot and I just start writing fantasy books because I like to do that. Or I pivot and I want
Sure.
to do something else. I literally do that. Most people don't know that. For fun, even though I run a podcast, it's a top 5%, top 3% podcast. I sales coach. I work for a Fortune 50 company, dealing with CEOs, CFOs all the time in my spare time, and I have spare time, I write fantasy, dragons and stuff like that, and epic tales. I do a bunch of different stuff. I'm into sports. I play video games. Why? Because you have to have the whole package. That's something else that people online try to say. Just talk business, just get strict, just tell them what's about this, blah, blah, blah. And you never put your human element in. And that's a huge mistake. That's why you see me post pictures with my pugs. You see me post pictures walking. That's why I'll mention or I'll post, oh, I went and just saw Spider-Man 3. Why? Because I'm a human. Guess what? Now I can connect with people that maybe aren't where I'm at and then go, well, I watched Spider-Man too, and I wanted, and so I'm now human. And then I also get around people that are farther along than me, and they'll push me and say, hey, you need to step up here. I see this blind spot.
Mm,
Always have a hand down and a hand up. And that's not a negative. That's just where the person's at. Because 20 years ago, I had to have someone help me. When I first learned sales, I had no clue what I was doing. And then I had to learn, grow, and now I'm to the point where I can help people. But if I wouldn't have went through those 20 years, I can't help you. I wouldn't have a clue.
right, right. It definitely takes definitely that life experience has gotten you to where you are, and like you said, a hand up, a hand down. I can
Mhm.
help these guys. I've done this. I'm here on the path, but those guys are up there on the path. That place looks a little bit interesting too. Let's learn a little bit about how we move that way. And I loved your three P's. I thought that was really really great. So, is there anything that we haven't talked about yet that you want to let people know?
Just be you. You're the secret
Mm,
gift that you have. Most people think that they have to act like Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi, whoever it is, but in reality, they're so good because they are them 100%. Be who you are, show your unique value, and just get better every day, 1%. You don't have to be somewhere by tomorrow. We overestimate, and I didn't get this quote, but I've heard and I love it. We overestimate what we can do in a year. We underestimate what we can do in 10. The people that win are the ones that show up each and every day and take one step closer to their dreams. Go to one more networking event, go to one more thing that they can do, but also let people know each and every day who you are, who you help, and what you do. I did the power of three, is it what popped in my head here, but it's really simple. Every third post, I'm giving you an opportunity to engage with me, talk with me, or whatever. So you'll see me do a video where you see me in the human form walking, talking, so you can get the human connection. You'll see me do a long form post, which is more of a thought. My third post normally every day is a question. Why? Because I want you to engage. I want you to know, hey, it's okay to talk with me. Hey, it's okay to connect. And if you keep the power of three going, you start drawing people into your world. Then you add podcasts like this that we're on, or you go to an event, or you start doing virtual summits, or speaking on stage, getting your brand, your message out. But your brand and message is not just your business, it's you. And that's the biggest key thing. I'm going to go right back to it. Who you are, who you help, doesn't matter if you don't love yourself. So, first and foremost, learn to love yourself. Learn to love your faults, your weaknesses, your greatness, your happiness. And if need be, go to people that are not negative, but that are positive and say, hey, what do you see in me? Because sometimes you need someone to come along and say, hey, I see this in you. You're really good at X. And then just lean into that. That's what I would say. And if people want more information like this, check out the Joseph Graham Show. Over 290 episodes. We're going to be over 300 soon. I think I'm at like 298. I just haven't
okay.
changed my talk track there yet because I haven't looked at it. Because again, I'm going to keep showing up and doing the podcast, whether it's episode 300, 500, 1,000. I like doing it. Again, that curiosity. But check that out on any platform. And yeah, Stacey was on. You should go check her episode out. It was amazing. We had a blast with that one. And I'm very selective. So be wise. You can reach out, but you better be able to pitch me on to why you should be on my show because I don't just let anyone on.
Awesome. And congratulations on your almost 300 episodes of your podcast. And I just wanted to say then, in addition to the podcast, if somebody wants to follow you, where are the places that you recommend them looking?
Oh, sure. On Instagram, what is it called now? X, it's Joe Graham Real. So Joe, JoeGraham Real. On Facebook, there's a group, The Joseph Graham Show. My Facebook is Joe Graham, but there's a few of them, so it's easier to catch me there. And then I have a website called Joe Graham Real. Funny, look, I'm being very boring. Works well. That way you can just find it. You can check stuff out there as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Stacey. I
All right.
appreciate you. Have a beautiful day.